Hey everybody, Wombat here with another Rebellion in 1 hour. I am playing Dill the Destroyer in a ladder match from early February. I realize I'm a little behind on videos and, life has thrown me a curveball and you don't always hit it the way you want. So that's alright. Everything's heading in the right direction here again, so that's a good thing. So without further ado, let's talk about the map setup here. So I've got a Loyal Moncal, Loyal Bothawui, and a Ryloth, which can't be touched. We are playing the base unit deployment, and yep. So Dill has a pretty normal setup here: Star Destroyer, Assault Carrier combos next to Moncal, next to Both, and down at the core. You can see he does not have a Loyal Corellia, so that's nice. And he does have Mustafar, but it's subjugated. So I'm doing a different kind of deployment than I usually do here. I'm going to put 5 troopers and a transport and an X-Wing on Utapau. That keeps my unit count under 8 in the base, which means that the Empire will be a little bit less likely to play Gather Intel, because if they run it, they're only going to get 1 probe. And then that also frees up Leia to not necessarily have to block. So I've been playing around with that deployment as Rebels a little bit. I like it so far. We'll see. It helps because if you draw Crippling Blow, you can attack into Naboo the second round. Also, if they attack into Utapau, you're rolling max dice, which is nice. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I draw Desperate Hour, and with Desperate Hour, a lot of the times I think it is a good idea to play Established Trade Relations with it and just put her and Mothma on it together, because you will immediately get a Moncal and a Nebulon from Utapau, and then assuming they don't block your loyalty there with, Imperial propaganda or anything, you will get a second one. So it's a pretty powerful card to play, especially, and here's one of the benefits to not stuffing the base with too many units, then it's likely to go through. So, or then there's likely not a Gather Intel coming, which means you're not going to be too far behind on probes. So picking a base, and you guys probably all know my strategy by now. I like to pick away from the Death Star. I like remote planets generally. So that's a Ilum, Dantooine, Dathomir, Yavin. And this round I go with Yavin. So what am I drawing for missions? I have Contingency Plan. So maybe I play Contingency Plan instead of Established Trade Relations here. That's a tough one. I think I end up, you can see here I fast forwarded a little bit. I ended up sticking with the plan and just getting Established Trade Relations because that's what I wanted to do at first, and that's what I'm going to do now. I'll save Contingency Plan to score a loyalty mission later is my thought. So outside of Contingency Plan, I have an Infiltrate to run, and then also a Build Alliance to run. Infiltrate, I just came back from a gaming convention where I taught Rebellion for a couple of days over in Seattle, or Bellevue, which is by Seattle, which was pretty cool. One of the things that I noticed, and I know I've said this before, but if you are newer to Rebellion and you're playing Rebels, if you have a level 1 objective showing on top, just infiltrate. Even if you don't know what all the objectives are by heart, just know that generally level 2 objectives are better than level 1 objectives, and level 3 objectives oftentimes are better than level 2. But without exception, if you have a level 1 objective, just infiltrate. And now you'll see with Vader on a mission, this is my other kind of go-to. Anytime Vader's on a turn 1 mission and I have false orders, I will play it. Because if Vader's on propaganda or bounty or anything like that, it always feels bad. So Without the risk of Vader being on propaganda, especially with no Leia to block, I will establish trade relations, which will get me a Mon Cal and a Nebulon on the queue. And then I will infiltrate. And the Imperials are heading off to Ord. I didn't catch what mission I infiltrated to here. I didn't see it. That's all right, though. Oh, here we go. Yep, defend the people, very bad. And then, yep, so if you draw defend the people with an infiltrate, just put it on the bottom. That's what we did. All right. So let's see what else we got going this turn. We can wait, yep, so we'll have a subjugated Mon Cal, a subjugated Bothawi, and then a blocked Build Alliance, which is fine. You know, I'm still getting my 2 Mon Cals, which is great. I'm going to go ahead and grab Luke because I have Seek Yoda as a starting card. Or as a card that a mission that I have. So usually I take Wedge with 1 in a Million. 1 in a Million is a great card. I did a video about action cards. If you haven't seen that, make sure to check that out on the channel. And I'll go ahead and pick Luke with the idea of upgrading him to Jedi Luke, which will be nice. And for deploying, I already have 7 in the base, so I don't want to deploy anything else here. And with Threaten the Core, the objective I drew, and Rebel Assault, I don't have any easy scores on that right now. Didn't get Crippling Blow, which I like, so, you know, I'll just keep everything on the queue. Not everything. I guess I put 1 in Ryloth. And then just watching those Mon Cals come down the queue. Again, part of the reason I like building away from the Death Star is if I can get a couple of Mon Cals into the base, it can be really difficult for the Imperial Navy to get a foothold on dealing with anything. So 2 Mon Cals is pretty tough, and yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got here. All right. Dill's going to run a couple of missions. He has Soontir on a mission and Tag on a mission. It's a little bit of an interesting combo. Soontir probably means he's on Hunt Them Down. Hard to know for sure. I will keep Leia back to block, and just got to figure out which order to do missions in here. So again, have a level 1 objective on top, so have to infiltrate. Go ahead and pick a spot where if Dodonna is captured by Soontir, then, you know, I can get out of it. Now, I drew cut supply lines, which is nice, except for, if you can remember, I did not sabotage early on, so I'm way behind on cut supply lines. I don't have a hidden fleet or anything, so I won't take that. All right. Soontir is drawing them out, which means Leia now goes to where the Death Star is, and that probably means Tag is on capture. So I can try to sabotage where the Death Star is, and that'll fail, but it would give me an extra dice to roll to prevent a capture. So that's kind of what I'm debating on right now. I didn't draw a cut supply line, so, I mean, it's not a terrible move to try to do that, but instead I just go for sabotaging Ord. My current strategy is I have 2 Mon Cals on the queue, and they have 0 Star Destroyers on the queue. So if I can get the Mon Cals into the base and I can prevent them from building ships, then I can probably attack out at some point, score Rebel Assault, and then the Death Star will be hopefully on the other side of the base here, on the other side of the galaxy, and then they'll have a hard time killing my base. So that's what I'm sticking to right now. So we'll see whether or not that idea holds. So here comes Jedi Luke. Jedi Luke is obviously nice for that plan as well, because 3 space combat, 3 ground combat with a reroll with Yoda, which is nice. And then with the Alliance from Mon Mothma, I need to make sure I don't lead the Death Star out somewhere towards the base. So I'll go ahead and build in Kashyyyk, because that's kind of a tasty little target for, maybe this, excuse me, maybe the Star Destroyer to come back from Seleucami. And if he does that, he'll be a step further away from Yavin, potentially, because that Star Destroyer has to cover up north. And instead, he brings the assault carrier over to Toydaria, which I think is a perfectly good move. And that's the end of the turn. So 2 turns down, no path to score objectives yet. Maybe there's a world where I do some deploying on Kashyyyk and then fly to Alderaan to score threat in the core. I don't know. There's Crippling Blow, which is nice. Again, I've got that transport sitting in Utapau. And then I drew Wookiee Guardian, which is nice because I have Demolition. So that's good. So I draw Wookiee Guardian, they draw Yularen, probably with the one that identifies where the base is. That's not great, but okay. I have a U-Wing to deploy, so now I need to debate whether or not I'm going to fly in and try to score a Crippling Blow on Geonosis. If so, I could deploy the U-Wing in Ryloth and bring that troop along too. That's kind of what I'm thinking about right now, but instead I'll just put it in the base. Got 2 Moncals, 2 Nebulons on the queue. He drops an AT-AT down in Geonosis, and then we're off to assigning missions. So I got to rescue Leia, who got captured last turn, so that's fine. And I could do it with Luke and Obi-Wan Kenobi's card to draw an objective. I think that would be a cool thing to do right now. However, the risk with that is if Vader is on It Is Your Destiny, then he could just try to block Luke, fail, play It Is Your Destiny to remove Yoda and capture Luke. And then if he is going to try something like a Lure to the Dark Side, that would be a giant disaster if that all happened that way. So instead, I will just send Dodonna in. Luke is not being particularly brave here. I'm a little disappointed now because I see Vader on a mission. So, okay. Maybe I should have sent Luke and gotten that objective. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth trading Luke and Yoda and potentially a reputation point in exchange for drawing an objective. I mean, I'm sure it's not, but anyway, rescue worked, so Dodonna freed Leia. Stuck her in the base. Got Yularen, who might be running a probe mission here because I now have 8 guys in the bank or in the base. Vader's doing a rule by fear to solidify the Star Destroyer production this turn. Reekin's going to sabotage Bothui. I think Bothui might have been a mistake here. Maybe should have sabotaged Mustafar instead. But since he won't be ruling by fear there, maybe Toydaria would have been a better call. It's not like I have to score or cut supply lines. I just need to prevent him from building spaceships. So I think Toydaria would have been a better pick over there. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, Lauren is going to secure the plans in Endor. Okay. Another reason I like being away from the Death Star is for that card right there. Secure the plans is tough to get back. Now, if I had a hidden fleet, I could probably grab it, but, doesn't seem to be a thing. All right, instead of trying to score a crippling blow this round, I am instead moving units to Dagobah. Dagobah. I guess maybe I'm thinking I'll score crippling blow next round instead. I don't know about that. Maybe. I mean, it'd be hard to fly into Geonosis, but I guess that's what it is. All right, so the Empire attacks with... I skipped through that. The Empire attacks into Utapau, kills the 2 remaining troops in there. Chewie made it out of there. And then, yeah, Emperor has now subjugated Utapau. Okay, gonna run an infiltrate with Luke. Seems like a waste of his talents, but okay. Death Star plans are popular support. Popular support's a pretty easy one to score, and he's got secure the plans out with the Death Star right now. So no reason to take Death Star plans if the plans are secure. So please, Wombat, put that on the bottom of the deck. That would be great. Pay attention to your board state. Yep. Okay. And now we just need 6 loyalty, and we still have contingency plans, so that should be a pretty doable thing. All right, and R&D from Tag. I'll get a project of their selection on here to pull in, and then go ahead and build an alliance. Now, I think I'm not sure about this here. I think what I'm thinking is I can deploy 2 Moncals on Naboo and then attack that Star Destroyer. However, I can also just deploy those two Moncals in, say, Kashyyyk and attack the Star Destroyer that's closer to my base. That would probably be a better move here. I don't know. All right. Tarkin is finishing off my Ryloth fleet, or my Ryloth outpost, which I think makes sense. Cover that corner of the base, or corner of the map. It's not there anymore. He's probably, if he puts secure the plans out in Endor, he's probably got at least 1, maybe 2 of those probes out there already. So he's probably starting to narrow it down to like Nal Hutta, Alderaan, Dantooine, that area. Which timing's okay. So I will go ahead and deploy. And he grabs Admiral Ozzel for a hero. Ozzel, okay. So now my choices are, I could try to score Rebel Assault on Utapau and then strand those Star Destroyers there, or I could try to score it on Seleucami, but there's TIE fighters on Seleucami, so I think that's why I was going with Naboo. And in hindsight, I might actually just chicken out. We'll see. Nope. So I'm going to make it, and this is another mistake here, I'm setting up to make it look like I'm going after the Death Star, but the plans are secure, so I'm not going after the Death Star. And here I'm going to drop these 2 Moncals in Naboo. This, I think, is a mistake as well, because, let's say I kill that Star Destroyer. Well, worse, let's say I don't kill that Star Destroyer, right? And it retreats to Geonosis. Then that was a waste. And if he stumbles into Yavin, then, my fleet is all the way across the galaxy, which was not my plan. My plan was to fight on the Yavin side of the galaxy, and I'm putting my main strike force away from it to try to score Rebel Assault, I guess. Yeah, I don't love this plan at all, but you know what? Sometimes you just go with it. Also, Drew planned the assault, which I could use to fly my 2 dudes out of the base and wipe a Star Destroyer that way if I want to do it that way as well. So I don't know, several mistakes here, but we're going with it. So, having Riken on prepare for battle is okay because the idea is I'm going to fly into that Star Destroyer, play my Moncal card, and try to make sure it doesn't die and then get it back right away, I guess, is my thing. Not sure. All right. Yeah. Guess that makes sense. And since I have Wookiee Guardian, can try to keep Chewbacca back, but before I do that, I've got to get Demolition handled first. He has a Star Destroyer on the queue now, so it's probably a good idea to play Demo, get some value out of it while I have that card. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Zooming forward a little bit, the hero I got was Han Solo with the Millennium Falcon. I didn't have a whole lot of choice there. And Ozzel's on a mission, which probably means he's drawing probes. That's usually what Ozzel does. Comes out, plays his card, draws 4 probes, and reveals where the Rebel base is going to be. And that Star Destroyer is extra defended now because of the shield bunker as well. And then you have Yularen back to block as well. So Luke is going to attack this Star Destroyer, and we're going to try to score Rebel Assault and strand everything else there. The reason I am not bringing my guys is because I don't need the extra X-Wing, although I could. It's not like that X-Wing's doing a whole lot of good there. And then if I am trying to score Rebel Assault, I then don't need to also waste my units that can score Crippling Blow. So we'll see. Okay, Emperor comes out and says it's according to his design. That means I am not killing the Star Destroyer unless I play Ion Cannon or something to do damage. So we'll see how this goes. Play the Moncal card to block hits. Nope, I should do that because I have Riken on Prepare for Battle. It's easy to get lost in all these preparations for sure. So I'm going to block 2 hits. He's going to block 2 hits. I'm going to need 3 crits to do this or to save my damage card. And just play... I should probably just play Rogue Squadron right here and do a black damage. Or I can think about it, I guess. I'm going to flip the combat. Okay. I don't know about that either, but fair enough. Okay. 1 blocked hit. Okay. So he's got 1 damage, and then I need 3... Nope, I need too many criticals. Can't happen. All right. I do 1 damage. That red damage is actually blocked. It doesn't matter too much because he can just retreat here. All right, so he goes back to Geonosis. That feels like a pretty major failure, but we'll go with it. Now, thankfully, he is taking... Let's see what he takes here. He leaves the ATST, so does not leave enough to score Crippling Blow, which is too bad. But with an ATST there, it might be worth attacking to just free up Utapau all the way together. Because if I attack there, then that's free, and he's got to come back and deal with it. So I don't hate that idea. All right. Since the Star Destroyer retreated, Admiral Ozzel can draw some probes. That seems like a good thing for him to do. And then Chewie will run Demolition. They don't have anybody that can block it, especially because I'm doing it in Utapau. So that is a pretty devastating mission for the Rebels to deal with. Kills that Star Destroyer that they worked so hard to build. Rebels are so annoying. All right. Then running in infiltrate. Oh, I guess I missed Empire moving to Nalhutta and infiltrating either for Rebel Cell or Liberation. Now, Liberation is really good, and Rebel Cell lets you kind of get rid of bad missions if you can defend it. But Liberation is the clear winner here. So that means I am picking Rebel Cell, I guess. Don't pick Rebel Cell, Wombat. It's not even that hard of a decision. I mean, where are you going to put Rebel Cell? You're going to put it in Utapau? I guess. Okay, so I keep Rebel Cell. And then, unfortunately, those probes must have been pretty nice for Ozzel, because Soontir now moves in force over to over to Felucia, which leaves the Wookiees unguarded or unsubjugated, which I wasn't expecting. And I'm assuming after he checked Nalhutta, he must have Kessel or something. Man, that freaks me out. Good thing I put my Moncals on the other side of the galaxy there. All right. So Leia is now joining her brother and bringing these troops in to Utapau. The reason is I'd like to kill this ATST and then free up Utapau altogether. That might give him some pause on what to do first with his next round. So he'll do 2 damage to me. I'll do 2 damage to him, and then see if I can get another hit. Okay, another hit. So the ATST is dead. I take Utapau back over. It is now Rebel Loyal. Ooh. My base is going to have some challenges here. So I need to do base defenses. And then I am going to need to try to figure out how to soften this base attack that is likely incoming here. Again, since I deployed all my capital ships, I don't have a lot of extras to deploy in there. Into Yavin, again, Dathomir probably a better idea, but we went with Yavin, so now we got to figure it out. Good news is Vader does not have anybody to capture because nobody's in an Imperial system anymore because I liberated Utapau. Yep, so we talk about that for a little bit. Then we're going to get all our combat cards back. Now, I could attack out of the base with Han Solo here and try to wipe out the ground forces before he can deploy. So again, you'll see he has, 3 troops, 2 tanks, and 2 ATSTs, and I have not enough to wipe that out, so that's probably a bad idea. Mothma's going to build alliance in Mandalore. Don't know if that's a great idea or not, but we did it. And I'll gain 1 objective for having 6 loyalty. Would have loved to have those Moncals in the base, but I guess they did liberate Utapau, so take that for what it is. And now I drew Rebel Cell, which, I mean, I guess at this point you put it in Utapau, right? That kind of worked out. To get value out of Rebel Cell, you need to discard at least 2 objectives in there. So Rebel Cell by itself doesn't have any value outside of filtering out some of your other objectives that are hard to score. Ooh, that's a nice draw. Maydeen and Lando. So Lando is the answer to that, but the question is, where do you Lando? Do you Lando with independent operations in Felucia, at which point they probably move everything over to Geonosis maybe, and then you attack Geonosis to kill that Star Destroyer, and thus defend Rebel Cell? Do you Lando in Geonosis and move everything back to possibly to Felucia? That seems like that would be a disaster. So I don't know. Think about that for a minute and think about how you use, or if you use, independent operation here. I think the right move, and it's been a while since I played this game, so I don't know what I pick. I think the right move is to independent operation in Felucia. They have to know where the base is by now. Otherwise, why would you move your units that way? Why not just probe it with a assault carrier? And maybe move the Star Destroyer to Kashyyyk or Mandalore. So I think the right move is you independent operation in Felucia, and then you attack the Star Destroyer Interdictor combo in Geonosis, and you hope to win that. And then you hidden fleet and pick up the secured plans where the Death Star is. Or to make the Death Star vulnerable again, so they might not be so quick to move that up to where Rebel Cell is. We'll see. So I'm definitely playing Lando, and I do play it in Felucia. Okay. So it's an AT-AT, an AT-ST, a couple of tanks, a bunch of stormtroopers. They all have to move, and that means they can't reveal the base this turn, which feels pretty nice. Now, on the flip side of things, attacking into Geonosis, I have 2 Moncals and a Y-Wing and a transport against an Interdictor, which can cancel cards, and a Star Destroyer and an Assault Carrier. So that's not an easy fight there by any means, but I think I can pull that off with Jedi Luke. I should be running I do have a hidden fleet down there. I just have 2 of them, it looks like. I don't think there's a need to plan the assault. Maybe I score Rebel Assault in Geonosis if I'm lucky. I don't think there's any opportunity to score Threaten the Core, so I'm hoping to throw that one into Rebel Cell. And when you have Rebel Cell out, you don't have to pressure yourself quite as much with scoring objectives, so we'll see. Also, you'll notice that Dill opted to move everything back to Seleucami rather than, too far away from everything. Seems fun. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. If you guys are enjoying this video, please make sure to like and subscribe and comment. I have to catch up on a couple of comments on the channel, but that type of stuff is fun to read. It's nice to hear your guys' thoughts on strategies and whatnot as well. Also, this is a plug for Discord. If you have not found us on Discord, you can click the link in the description and find us on Discord. That we play online quite a bit. I'd be happy to see some more people here. All right, so we got Krennic's Finest, we got Vader, we got Soontir on a mission. That screams, some combination of capture and mess around. Man, this is unfortunate. I don't feel great about this position right here. Also, you want to think about what objective cards your opponent has that are hiding. We'll talk about that here in a minute too. Okay, so Luke attacks out into Geonosis. Yeah, that's what he does. Okay, Luke attacks out into Geonosis, and I bring my Moncal, I bring my Freighter, I bring my X-Wing, and I play my cancel card. I'm not sure what's going on with this edit. Something got a little bit choppy here. So I'm going to play the cancel card. Anytime you think your card is going to be canceled, you want to play a cancel card as well, or a no card next round. Now, since he's the defender, his card goes off first, but he needs to decide if he's going to say no card next round, which in turn basically we both have 2 rounds without combat cards, or if he's going to say I have 1 round with no combat card, which is what my card does anyway, and then he plays one. So if you're worried about your card getting canceled, like if you're fighting an interdictor and they're going to cancel your card, just play the Corvette card. Even if you have a Corvette, that's okay. It's better that they cancel that card rather than the Moncal card. Okay, I have some nice combos here. My black hits get blocked, but I can drop 5 hit points of damage on either the Star Destroyer or the interdictor. Because I'm not planning on flying away, I think the right move is just to put 5 on the Star Destroyer. He did not put any heroes here, which I think is a mistake, because he really needs this fleet to survive. Even if it means he can't deal with the Rebel Cell this turn, that's okay. The priority is keeping the fleet alive. Even possibly retreating if, if things start going really badly, but you could still save the interdictor, maybe. So I score Rebel Assault because I got the Star Destroyer. He's got 2 damage on the Moncal. I cannot retreat, but that's okay. I have the transport card where I can block hits, and the Moncal card that I can use to block hits too. So he's going to use the TIE Fighter card to add 2 damage. That's a nice one. And I will play the combat card. So I'm blocking 3 red hits and 1 critical hit. Play it. Just play it, Wombat. No big deal. Don't do it. Nope. Don't flip the combat. Why don't you flip the combat here, guys? You don't flip the combat because you can make use of heals that you roll. You're not worried about them rolling heals. You are worried about you. Anyway, all right. So I flipped the combat. Now I got to roll heals, which is doable with Luke. Can re-roll that one, that one, that one. Okay, I've got most likely a dead Moncal. I could 1 in a million here too and save it, but yeah, no. Okay, kill the interdictor, kill one of the TIE Fighters, one of my Moncals down. I think that was a misplay. Should have played the other one. All right, that's fine. So now I've got 1 Moncal against a TIE Fighter and a Assault Carrier, which seems fine because the TIE Fighter card's already been used up. So we will play the Rogue Squadron raid, I think, to do a damage. Right? Nope. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me right now. Come on, Wombat. Why are you doing that? You're rolling 2 red dice and 1 black. I mean, I guess. All right. And he's rolling first, so I'm not sure why I'm rolling first now either. All right. Yep. Okay, we just realized he was supposed to roll first. Okay, there we go. All right, got 1. Okay, still got the TIE Fighter left. I guess I just retreat. I don't think retreating was the right thing to do, but we'll do it anyway. All right, Vader's going to try to capture, and I will block with Chewbacca, but not use Wookiee Guardian because I'll be rolling 4 dice and winning on ties. So I'm just going to roll. I'll roll 3. Vader will roll less than that, and we'll block the capture. Okay. Back to me. So, take a look at the reputation, and when you get kind of to the mid game where we're at right now, you need to sort of envision what the final stretches here are going to look like. So if you take a look at we'll hidden fleet and grab the secure the plans. I like that because if the Death Star is going to go up to the Rebel base, it's got to be at least a little bit worried if I do plan the assault or something on there. But take a look at the reputation when you have a sec here. Oh, well, here we are with another chopped up edit. Okay, so they are running planetary assault on the base, because obviously they know where it is, so that works. And I don't have any leaders to put in there anymore because I used Luke for the attack, and I'm a dummy. Also, why did I block with Chewie for Lando? I'm clearly a huge mistake. Could have used Chewie to block the planetary, but so be it. All right, so he's going to blow up the shield generator, and I will play tow cables. Oh, he actually blows up the ion cannon. Now, I think that's a pretty big mistake here, because if he does not take out the shield generator, I can use the shield generator to get my tow cables card back, or to play the shield generator card. Oftentimes, you do not want to open with the shield generator card if they have a AT-AT on board, because the AT-AT will blow up a structure, and if they blow up the shield generator, then the only thing you can do is flip the combat, and you're rolling second anyway. So if you are being attacked by a planetary or a force that has an AT-AT in it, and you only have one shield bunker, don't play the shield bunker card. Play the tow cables card instead. All right. Anyway, he takes out a troop, damages another speeder, and I roll pretty well in return. Take out most of his guys. He has a troop left. So I actually had a pretty good force remaining there. And then now I can play the shield generator card for my second turn. And what that does is that basically prevents him from being able to kill my speeder, because I can remove damage off of the speeder. Anyway, sorry for the edit there. I'm not sure quite what happened there. I did this edit a long time ago, and I'm just now getting to the voiceovers. All right, sabotaging. This is pretty straightforward. Going to sabotage Moncal or Seleucami, with the idea being, nope, instead I'm sabotaging my own territory because I am worried about him flying the assault carrier from Ord up to Mandalore. And if he does that, then he can deploy right next to the base. So I guess that's... Well, no, I changed my mind again. I don't know what I'm doing. Apparently still thinking about it. I am sabotaging Felucia. I'm going to try to sabotage Felucia with a 4-5 dice attempt on 3 to block. Okay, that's an interesting idea. I guess it didn't work, but the thought was maybe they're going to rule by fear there. I don't know. I'm going to infiltrate. I'm going to take a seize control. Infiltrating also becomes less important once you get further down in the deck, and if you have a rebel cell on board, because if you draw a bad objective, you can just discard it into rebel cell. So, infiltrating is a must early on. It is not necessarily something you have to do later. All right, going on with business here. They are moving to Cato to try to muster some forces near Yavin here. And then I have a build alliance to do. And then Soontir's on a mission as well. Yeah, so I guess with the sabotage, I ended up going back to Felucia, which I guess makes some sense in case they had some sort of card next turn or whatever that deploys an interdictor into that space. I don't know. All right, Rapids. Moncal, Hoth, Dagobah. Moncal, Hoth, Dagobah. No great options there. It's nice to know that Dagobah is on the bottom there. Do you move to Dagobah here? Maybe you do. I mean, you still have a hidden fleet. So I'd love to hidden fleet and then go to Dagobah. He doesn't have that many probes left in the deck. Oh, interesting. Okay. So he had the capture card for Chewbacca on Felucia, so that feels bad. The Krennic's Finest Sweep the Area card. All right, I discard an objective into Rebel Cell, and now you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6. 6 more turns if I don't score any objectives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 more turns if I don't score any objectives. And you figure I'll score at least these 2 that I have up right now. So that shifts us back to 5 turns. And then if I can draw another objective to score with Rebel Cell, that could be 4 more turns. And then you figure he's going to need at least 1 or 2 turns to move everything into place to be able to threaten the base. So I have a few options here. So now the question is, what do we do? He still has Ozzel. He can still attack into the base with Felucia. He could attack into the base and then retreat back to Mandalore. That could be kind of a cool move. That's a pretty big use of Ozzel there. And I've got a bunch of green dice. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's what you do with Ozzel or not. So we'll see. Again, I'm not putting Luke on the rescue card again. I'm sending Dodonna and Leia there by themselves. Have Luke and Lando. Lando might want to be on contingency plan. I'm not too confident about my mission selection here. I know I need to not have captured leaders left behind for getting tortured, so I need to rescue them. I should probably put Luke and Leia on the rescue mission together. Leia would help block, any additional capture attempts, maybe. And Destiny wasn't played earlier, so I don't know. I think Luke should be on that mission. Anyway, here's Ozzel. Ozzel's coming out with Catch Them by Surprise on the base. So that's not great. I mean, I thought that wasn't a great use of Ozzel at the time, but God, looking at that now, and I've already played my cancel card because I wanted to use it against the Interdictor earlier, and I've already played my Nebulon B card, which seems bad. I do have the Y-Wing card, so I can do some damage. He's going to be rolling a green, 4 red, and 3 black, and I'll be rolling 3, 3, and 4. 3, 3, and 3? 3, 3, and 3. All right, I'll do some damage. He's going to flip the combat. Probably could have predicted the flip and then done a no-heal. I don't know about that. It seems fine. Do damage to the assault carriers. Yep. And then I have Luke, so I got 3 rerolls, and I can do some decent damage here. So I got 1, 2, 3, and then I got 3 more to do. Yep, might as well roll the high success dice that roll blanks. Okay. So I'll do just max damage to a bunch of stuff. And then no Yoda yet. No 1 in a million either. All right, so he's got 2 rerolls with Ozzel. Let's see what he does here. He's got a couple of red hits, a couple of black hits, a couple more red hits. That's pretty devastating, actually. Nice roll. That's too bad. All right, 3 hits for me and 2, 4, 6 hits for him. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yeah, that's the right move. I mean, boy, that's tough. All right. I guess it's good I didn't play the no-heal card. I needed to do that damage with the Y-Wing. So he's going to be left with a Star Destroyer and a TIE Fighter against a Nebulon, 2 Nebulons, and an X-Wing. Ooh, that doesn't feel very good. Might be a 1 in a million time coming up here. All right, he does not have a blow up the shield generator card. So I can grab my shield generator card out and play it. Now, why not play tow cables? Because I have two speeders, which are, and I'll be rolling 3 rerolls, and I still have Yoda. So I think this is the right move. Turns out maybe knocking out the ion cannon was the right call. All right, he's going to say no heal, but I'm going to remove damage. So he does some damage. And then I'm going to reallocate it to the shield bunkers. So here's why the shield bunker's nice. Next round I can do the same thing. Yeah. All right, I got 1 hit so far, 3 rerolls. Still just 1 hit. I should Yoda here, I think. Should Yoda. You should Yoda, Luke. Use Yoda. Yep, using Yoda. Okay. And Yoda misses. All right, that's too bad. So I've got a wounded shield bunker against a wounded ATST and a full ATST. Got a little bit of a challenge here because I can't heal anything, so I just have to do good damage here. Let's see how this goes. So I am rolling first, and I've got 3 green and a black. I've got 2 hits, and I need to 1 in a million here. If I use 1 in a million, because I don't have Yoda, I can do 4 hits to the Star Destroyer. And if I do 4 hits to the Star Destroyer, there's a reasonable chance that he might not roll a heal. And if he doesn't roll a heal, I might survive this. And then if I survive it, he doesn't have a whole lot of transport left to move his dudes around. So we'll see. All right, he rolls 1 hit, and he has 2 rerolls. He's going to roll for a heal. Misses. Okay. The Nebulon's dead. The X-Wing is low. So I have an X-Wing and a Nebulon dead. Whew. In Luke, that's kind of thematic. So we'll see. I'm going to grab my shield bunker card back, and I'm going to play it again. So again, he can deal damage to my speeders, but I can just remove it and put it on my shield bunker. Yep. Okay. He's going to say no card next round. And he's going to roll 2 and 2. Got 2 more hits, 3 more hits. And then I can remove all 3 off and put them on the shield bunker. So the shield bunker's got 5 damage now. Shield bunker's great. That's why, although to be fair, it would have been tough for him had I had the ion cannon too. So I'm not sure what was better. All right. So now I've got 2 fresh 2 fresh speeders against a wounded ATST, and I have tow cables. So that should be a done deal here. In this sort of scenario, maybe you risk it with blocking hits or something. Man, I don't know. That seems like a terrible idea. And I have no card next round either. So, yep, that makes sense. Okay, so he has 501st left, which isn't enough to do much. He's got 1 hit, and then I've got 2 back. Enough to kill the ATST. So I am left in the base with a couple of speeders, a Nebulon, and an X-Wing, and Luke. Now I have Mandalore that's loyal next door. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, yeah. So now he's going to Soontir. Oof. So using Soontir brings 4 TIE fighters in. And, honestly, maybe this was what he should have done first to wipe out some X-Wings and some Y-Wings maybe, so I didn't have bombing run. I don't know. That ended up not going his way. He brought Soontir in afterwards, and it missed, basically. He took the X-Wing out. But I still have the Nebulon in place. So, okay, Soontir plus Ozzel. That was a pretty cool combo. Maybe the other direction next time, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. All right. See what else we got coming out here. So we've got Yularen on a mission. All those things. All right, this one's a little jumpy too. So what's going on here? I am attacking out of Kashyyyk with Lando to Seleucami. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm trying to score Seize Control, because Seleucami is sabotaged. And I do have an X-Wing survive. I accidentally brought a troop over, and I'm not sure why that happened. We correct that here in a moment. I think I thought I had a U-Wing there too. But because I had an X-Wing survive there, I can score Seize Control, which means then when I score Seize Control, I can then, either discard Crippling Blow into Rebel Cell if he doesn't take care of that this turn. If he does take care of that this turn, I can always retreat to Naboo and then try to score Crippling Blow next round as well. So you can assume Crippling Blow is going to get scored one way or another. And then I still have to rescue Chewbacca, Chewie's rescued. Because once I rescue Chewie, I can draw another objective to potentially discard into Rebel Cell as well. Okay, here is a fun one. He plays Draw Them Out. So imagine that for a minute. So he plays Draw Them Out into Felucia to pull my 2 speeders into Felucia and out of the base. So I went from having 2 speeders in the base to having no speeders in the base, and now only a Nebulon. So had those TIE fighters or those Star Destroyers come through, the game would now be over. Crazy. Totally crazy. All right. Well, fair enough. So now we are rolling to see if Leia is freed, and she is, or if Chewie is freed. And I believe that goes off. And now the Imperials are attacking Utapau to clear the Rebel Cell. So we'll see how this fight goes. I don't have any leaders to put back here anymore. So I am leaderless, but I do have kind of my initial starting troops. So I have 5 blacks and I have 2 greens that I'll be rolling, which means I can do pretty good healing. I also have hold them back or take them down, which does 2 damage. So that seems pretty good. If this can hold, that'll be pretty critical. Because then I can discard an objective into Rebel Cell. If it doesn't, it's not necessarily the end of the world, but I would certainly like it to work. Okay, so I need a couple of hits here. If I can take out that AT, and maybe the ATST too. Do 2 damage. 1 on a tank, 1 on a troop, 1 on the AT-AT. That leaves him just with 1 tank left against 5 troops. I should be fine on that. I have take them down or hold them back. And then I have enough left over to wipe this Utapau space fleet out, which should be fine. That means Rebel Cell is still holding in place. And with Rebel Cell still holding in place, that bodes well for, scoring my last couple objectives on here. So it is too bad that my rescue attempt did not work. Had my rescue worked, then I would have an extra objective to discard in, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. Emperor's going to rule by fear in Geonosis, which is fine. And then Mothma is going to build an alliance somewhere here. Maybe in Felucia? I don't know. Man, that play in the Rebel base with the combination of Soontir, Ozzel, and not draw them out, with blanking on the card name, the one that pulls the 2 speeders out of the base. That was so brutal. I just don't even know. All right, rapid time. I have an option of going to Ilum, which I like. Okay. There's no reason to stay in Yavin anymore at this point. I don't have any transport that can help. I don't want to get caught by, a deployment or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and move to Ilum. There's only a few places that I can be, so he's going to be pretty aware of what all of those are. And then you can see, if you can count the turns, have 4 turns if no objectives are scored. But I still have a rebel cell, which means I'm going to get 1 for free. And I also drew, did I draw Uprising or Return of the Jedi? What did I draw here for my objective? I drew Uprising. Okay, so Uprising, I'm doing pretty good on loyalty, and I still have contingency plan. So if I can get Uprising, the game will pretty much be very close to over. I have 2 troops in the base, so I could run any number of things. All right, so I rescue Chewbacca, and then Vader tried to block, which means Destiny comes out. So he was sitting on Destiny, and now he's going to exploit weakness with Vader, which is too bad. That's a lot of dice, and that's going to take my objective and put it on top of the objective deck, which is pretty brutal. Okay. I am feeling far less confident than I was a minute ago, because now I have no objectives to score. He has a Interdictor or a Star Destroyer on the queue, and we'll see. Okay, so Luke is going to infiltrate on the Death Star. See what my missions are coming up. I've got Uprising and I've got Raid Outposts. So now we're going to go for Raid Outposts, since he knows Uprising is a possibility, so he can play against that. If I can potentially score Raid Outposts on my Guido, because he's not getting to the base this turn, and I can deploy a Moncal in there, which would be nice. So we'll see how that goes. Going to move the Death Star up to Mustafar. That makes sense because he knows Dagobah is a possibility. And then Lando is going to run his contingency plan. And we are going to run, what are we running? Man, again with these edits, I don't know what happened to this, this edit block on here. All right, so Lando is running contingency plan. You know, and Dagobah's an option, but boy, I don't know, man. All right, he's going to construct a factory to clear off the Death Star. And then I've got my rapid. So with my rapid, I'm going to pull everything back from Utapau, stick it in the base. So that is a nice move. I mean, that's rapid, super powerful, and rebels are super annoying. So now I am deploying a Nebulon and a Moncal into my base in Ilum that also has another Moncal and a bunch of units in there. So, I mean, that's nice. That's a nice reconsolidation there. Now, he does have a Star Destroyer he's deploying, and he does have a Star Destroyer in Alderaan. So he could consolidate both of those in Ord and have 2 Star Destroyers against a couple of Moncals and a Nebulon. That's a possibility. I also need to be thoughtful about deployment, and I also need to try to figure out how to score a raid outpost. So raid outpost I can score with strike team. So that could be nice. I also drew plant false leads, which can be helpful. I still have a plan the assault, which is good. And we are 1, 2, 3 steps away from the end of the game. And after sabotaging my Guido last time, yeah, I mean, this could still work out pretty well. So he's got 1 move to Ord, and then a second move to the base. And I've got 1 objective I can score here with strike team, and that's it. So I think he has to move to Ord this turn, and I think I need to attack out. And what I do here is I plan the assault with Luke into Alderaan with the idea that if I can win this fight, well, the idea is defeating the Star Destroyers in detail. That's the idea. I can go in, I can block hits, I can flip the combat. But instead I don't block hits, I just flip the combat. And he flips it back. So I roll first. Or maybe I do the top. I guess I do the top in this instance then. I do a ton of damage. I should have blocked hits. I don't know why I didn't block hits. All right, I do 5 to the Star Destroyer, 6 to the Star Destroyer, 5 to the Star Destroyer. Okay, he does not heal. So the Star Destroyer's toast. He does 3 to the Nebulon. See, I would have the Nebulon alive still if I had blocked hits. And then do I retreat? I don't think I retreat. Why would I retreat? No, you just stay. Stay and cycle your cards. Nope. All right, I retreat. That's fine. He moves everything to Mandalore. That makes some sense. And then I can attack, he moves everything to Ord. And then I can attack Ord next round. So I am going to try to lead the strike team with Solo. And Krennic's Finest is going to try to block it. Okay. This could have been a good misdirect. But, all right, that worked. So I lead the strike team. I bring enough to kill a dude. I then also kill Krennic's Finest. He attacks back, Doesn't matter. I score a point. And now he has 1 shot left here. So it depends on what I draw with my objective. So I will plant false leads. And that lets me pull 4 cards out of his hand and reshuffle them. So maybe I get a good spot to move the base to. Let's see what I pull here. Oh, are you kidding me? I pull Yavin. All right. So pulling Yavin is overpowered here in this situation. So what you have to do is you have to put enough probes on top of Yavin, so if he has a probe drawing card, that he doesn't pull Yavin out. And then what happens is I can just go back to Yavin next turn. Then I don't even need to try to fight an Ord battle. So therein is the damage that plant false leads can do. You know, having a plant false leads and pulling the right probe can just literally break the game. So yeah, that actually seals the game, because then what I can do is I can plant false leads, or then I can rapid and pull Yavin off the top, relocate to Yavin, and have my first move be everything from Mandalore to Yavin. And then the game ends. So I wanted to thank everybody for watching this video. If you have not yet done it, please like and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to comment, helps me out as well. Love touching base with people. Also, find us on Discord if you haven't. It's a great place to hang out and get some games in. So this game took a little bit of a crazy turn. I don't know how that last round, would pan out otherwise. I mean, that's a good sized ground force, and certainly not a guaranteed win in the space theater. So hard to know, but being able to retreat to Yavin functionally ends the game. And there's nothing really the Empire can do about it. There's no carbon freeze because it's the RotE deck. So no way to swing the reputation back in the other direction. All right, guys. Thanks again. I am looking forward to getting the next one done, and I will see you guys around.